Welcome, everybody.
I guess we should have coordinated on who was going to do the.
Yeah, I guess so.
It's already a good start. Well,
how you doing?
as much, I am doing good, but I'm just ready to skip our pleasantries because
Yeah, let's go.
we are pleasant for too long every time, and we have a lot to cover today. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to jump straight into what we're going to do. And as I'm typing and not being able to focus, Andres, I need you to explain what we're doing. And then I'll correct you as I tune in and out of what you're saying. That sound good?
That sounds like how we usually interact. So yeah.
Yes. Okay, cool. So first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everybody. Good middle of the night if you're in Australia. Let's write some code.
Yes.
So last time we met, we took Kiro for a spin. And Andres, you could talk all about Kiro while we're doing something. But what we figured out, or what we talked about when we were using Kiro, is that it wasn't actually that fast. And I don't think anybody would argue that that's not true. But what we remembered, what we recalled, since you and I like to build things with a lot of new fun tools, is that V0 was fast. V0 was actually an exceptionally fast and relatively high quality AI coding agent that got you from idea to working software. It says it right here on the website. And it was quick. It actually worked really fast. So we had the idea last time when we were working with Kiro, what happens if we do the fast thing with V0 and then take the code and bring it over to Kiro and actually more productionize it to how we would use it for long term. So I'm going to let you get into details in a second. But before I start typing, we're going to build Pong today.
Yay.
A live interactive Pong. You and I can fight each other. You fight in Pong, right? That's the term?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to build Pong. We're just going to build kind of like a basic version of that in V0. The rules are already established. LLMs know how that works. And then we're going to take it over to Kiro, and we're going to add some fun features that make this game unique. And we're going to also do some productionizing things for it. So I'm going to go ahead and start typing. Can you see that screen okay? Should I zoom in more?
Just, yeah, that's way better.
Okay, cool. So this is V0 by Vercel. It is actually a very strong coding agent where you describe what you want to do, and it builds that for you. It runs through some requirements. It shows you what it thinks the requirements are, and then it goes and builds it once you give it the thumbs up. So I'm going to start typing, and you can talk more about the premise of what we're doing today, Andres.
Yep. So if you're interested in more details around all the spec-driven development that Kiro provides, you can take a look at our last stream where we dug deep into that, building Battleship. We've actually built the Battleship game as well, just using V0, which is where we saw I'm still trying to get that impression from another AI agent. So we'll see. We'll see if this combination does that. But it was very fast to get it working. Right. So in this situation, just so we don't build another Battleship, we're building another fun game called Pong, which is what was it like the first video game, Alan?
I don't know if it was the first one. It was definitely an early one. I do know, I actually have seen the video of this. Pong was the first game that had a rage quit.
Ooh.
Where somebody got so mad they put the controller down and left.
So yeah, it's the game where there's two paddles on each side and you just have to hit the ball that's running through one side to the other. So we're going to build that with V0, get kind of our prototype, workable prototype function, our V0, I might say, version of this application, of this game, to then import it into Kiro and do all that Kiro loves to do. We'll build some specs and get it deployed into AWS and add some new features, right? We want to make it special. So we'll make it Pong Plus is what we're building now. So here Alan is creating a long message for V0 to create this browser-based Pong game. Using Momentum.
So, yeah, we did, we made an interactive Battleship game before in V0. Super fun build, and it was so impressive how it did it. But because we are strapped for time today, I really want to see if we can do this in an hour. We're just use a much more simple game and just kind of rely on flashy client-side animations to make it look really nice. And then we're also going to use Memento in there to speed up that development process as well. So this is an interactive game. I do expect to test this with you and me here, Andres.
Yes.
You're playing it on your machine. I'm playing it on mine. So we're going to use Memento Topics and Memento Cache as that remote, centralized store and event messaging framework. So we don't have to build WebSocket servers and do all that rigmarole. So I sent off that initial prompt, which is basically saying, build me Pong, make it flashy, use Memento, standard rules, create a lobby. That's really about.
Yep. And this is maybe some feedback for all the coding agents. It's just the visuals make it feel nicer. I don't know what it's going to produce, right? But it's like, it feels like it's going to do the right thing. It just because it has nice visuals. I know, yes, this is more front end oriented. But
I agree. I feel like I'm sitting I feel like it's 2004 again, and I'm sitting waiting for The Sims to load on my machine. It's showing me the stuff that it's doing. It's doing nonsense up here because it's not actually doing this, right? It's not actually drawing things, especially
and
when I was
I
talking
would
about the SDK.
let's scroll down on the left panel. Maybe it's asking you for some. Okay, yeah, I just want to wait because one thing that I loved about V0 is that it prompted you for your API key when we were building Battleship, which I haven't seen in other places, right? It just says add it to the EMV file, but in this case, it securely asks you for your keys. And
I think the distinction here, though, specifically with V0, why it does that is because it's actually building a deployable game in Vercel right now. So the other code editors, Cursor, Kiro, Windsurf, those aren't doing that. They're writing the code for you and saying, you're kind of on your own to actually get it into the cloud. This one is handling that for you, for better or for worse, right? But that's why it was prompting for that.
That's true. So it's setting like the deployment environment variables and all that stuff.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I noticed in difference in behavior with V0 versus when we were messing with it last time is before it walked us through a whole design process, and we kind of had to give it a sign off before moving. And it didn't do that this time. It took my initial prompt, and now it's doing its thing. Now, I want to say it's because I write such good prompts, it doesn't need to go through a design phase. But that could just completely be a different experience now. And maybe they were trying to move faster.
We'll think it's that.
There is a tab up here
with design. Okay.
Design tab, I think, is like the file explorer after it generates everything, and you can click through and actually make the changes, because this is everything over here on the right hand side. I do really like V0.
Look at that. It's creating the game lobby with a neon arcade aesthetic, right? So like I said, we saw if you compare both streams, right, where we did Battleship, the front end generated by Kiro looked like a 1994 video or PC game that I installed via a floppy drive, right? The one that got generated by V0 was a lot nicer.
I love that you tell it how it is, man. And this is exactly what we're doing here. We're using two very, very different coding platforms, and we're doing that to play to the strengths. Like, that's 100% the reason why we're doing this at all. We want that front end to come from the expert front end builder that's not only better at design, but also faster. And then ultimately what we're going to do, because we don't want this to be a flash in the pan, we want to be able to enhance it and deploy it and make it actual production ready. We're taking that over to the real code editor with Kiro, and going to be able to enhance it over there.
We're going to have a game engine and everything. Look at that.
Yeah, right? That just sounds...
Game engine.
Here's a tip for all the junior developers. If you want something to sound cooler or stronger than it is, Just add engine to the end.
Yeah.
The word engine. Yeah. So this is just say, instead of this is my API, you can say this is my API engine. People would be like, oh, this guy knows his stuff.
Okay, task 4 or 5. We're almost there. Scroll down on the left side again.
Yeah.
I guess I'm now too used to like Copilot or Kiro, where it's gonna try and run a command on my machine and it's asking for me to approve it.
Yeah.
I guess
I'm
we
also
don't
used
have
to
that
this. I'm used to these kind of scrolling for me. I don't like that. I have to scroll.
here. Yeah.
That's like the laziest thing I think I've ever said.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
Multiplayer
right.
sync.
You're right. But let's think about this though. We started this stream 11 minutes ago, and we said hello, and kind of jumped to this from literally nothing, and hopefully we're about at the point where we can play this in 11-ish minutes, and hopefully it looks nice. Hopefully it looks good. If that's the case, what a world we live in. For real.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's I mean, if you start thinking about the development process and all the product ideation and prototyping and POCing, wireframes, all that, you do it all here, right? Because you can create a fully front-end prototype with, I mean, for storage, you can use local storage or use Momento, right? Like we're doing here. For caching or communication, and you get your prototype in a workable state to then you could potentially just reuse all that was generated, which is what we're doing right now, and then embed that into your true development process where now you have your front-end engineers working the UI, and you get the back-end engineers working on an API to communicate, to create the game rooms and the lounges and add fancy music to the game stream and whatnot, right? So you can start getting it all into your delivery process. And what we're trying to do here is getting to Kiro and create a deployment pipeline to get it into AWS with the regular deployment patterns that we regularly use.
That's right, because we don't want to use Vercel. We just want to use the tools.
Yeah. Which Vercel makes it very easy. Yeah. Vercel makes it very easy here, right? Because you see the top right, there's the publish, but we like to overcomplicate things. So, we'll take it back and deploy it elsewhere.
I love everything about this paragraph here. I've completed the Pong game with spectacular explosion effects and visual polish. The game now features particle explosions when scoring with amber bursts at goal lines, screen shake effects for impact, ball trails for smooth motion tracking, enhanced paddle hit effects with blue particle bursts, and victory explosions in green when somebody wins. See, I'm excited now. I'm ready for this to roll. Now, this is interesting. For me here, that we were at task 5 of 5 and now we're at task 1 of 4.
It prompted something on the right. So I don't know if you saw, I was saying, hey, this needs this generation uses an integration. Complete the step. It just did it by itself. Okay.
No, see, what's it doing? I don't want that. It's adding WebSocket support instead of using the client
because we didn't provide the
public
key, maybe?
No, I think what it's doing is, it's moving client-side movement to server-side movements. So, really, in the grand scheme of things, that is the correct call, but I wouldn't switch the underlying protocol. I would just take topics back up to the server and do that. So that's definitely going to be something that we're going to replace.
So scroll down a little bit.
Yeah.
That auto scroll is really killing me. Move to client hooks.
Insecure. I don't like that. Who are you? Say insecure.
It's
okay.
It's the web client.
Yeah, these front end developers. I'll tell you what. And I'm just throwing all the punches today.
Yeah.
So we should take a mental note or an actual physical note, Andres, of the things that we want Kiro to do when we get there. So, you know,
Yes.
we're building all this scaffolding. It's creating everything. It's creating API routes in Next.js. You know, you and I generally like to decouple APIs from the front end. You know, not use the tools to their max abilities. So that's just things that we're going to have to consider. So we're going to have to get rid of the server sent events. We need to move the APIs from Next.js over into API Gateway with Lambda.
Okay.
I think that's about it so far that I've seen.
Yeah.
Just as we're, you know, lurking on this
The
trail.
new secure API system. Yeah, it's cute.
Yeah, so rude. Okay, so agent timed out. Oh no. So what do we do here? Neon Pong. Okay. Complete the steps in chat. There aren't steps in chat.
Because it's been prompting for that and then just going away.
What does it want me to do? Can you keep going? This is really like striking a nerve with me. Okay.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Okay, this actually looks almost exactly like our Battleship game here.
Yeah. Yeah, the dark theme.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
I click the plus. Click the plus. Huh?
Do I have permissions? I sure hope I do. It didn't let me. It's not doing anything.
I guess it
Failed to create Vercel project. Wonder if I have too many Vercel projects. Like, do I need to delete the Battleship game? We'll see. So something I'm noticing, you know, we chose to go V0 for this initial build because it was a lot faster. It's definitely slower. The experience is different and it's slower. I'm wondering if they're just using like better reasoning models and that takes longer.
Mm-hmm. Man,
What
that
do you think,
might
Yip?
be it. Because our first attempt was several months ago, right? So a lot has changed.
That's the truth. Oh, that's cool. It has the little points here that I brought in. I'm not sure that would. I mean, these aren't toggleable features of a game.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool, but I honestly just want to get to the point where we can poke.
So on the top middle, kind of, there's the code block icon. Click on that.
Ah, here it is. Not that many things. Which is
Well,
good.
it's
I mean,
just one round.
we intentionally are building a simpler game. What'd you say?
It's like two routes, right? It's the lounge and the
Yeah.
there's badge, game lobby.
I'm just kind of
Outfits.
looking for. Yeah, there it is. I bet this is a beast. Just gonna scroll down. 633. It's not too bad.
Does it say which task of what is it?
Yeah. It's still trying to remove Memento from there, which is really annoying because I didn't ask it to do that. It didn't really give us an opportunity to say no to that decision. It just said, you know what, this isn't good. I'm gonna do it my way. Okay, let's see. Okay, how do I do this? Do you remember how this was? Add the environment variable in project settings. Is that probably this? environment variables. Okay. This is my favorite part of doing things live, is pasting API keys.
It's partial. It's fine. Projects.
I'm pretty sure that was. I think I did it right. I wonder. Let's refresh, maybe.
Yeah.
No, Memento API key. I believe I spelled it right.
Memento API key.
Yeah. I wonder if this is one of those things where
it needs to publish.
Well, I wonder if it's a Next.js nuance, because in order to get an environment variable down to the client, you have to prefix. So, like, you'd have to do next public. That's how you get an environment variable down.
Oh,
the browser.
Yeah, could be. Maybe hard coding it in the EMV.
All right, well, let's just see what it says. And then I think I can publish this. It might let me, it might not. Let's see what it says on this first.
Reading.
Okay, so it doesn't know, so it's going to add debugging.
Well,
let's see what it does. Okay, so let's talk about, I think we're getting close to migrating this code after we're happy with how it looks.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, it just prompted. Yes, I've done that.
Yes, yes. Restart the preview. Maybe the 3 dots. And download. I wonder what happens with the full refresh.
Let's see what happens. Yeah, I might as well try.
Okay, different error.
Yeah, it's because it's using. This is. I think we had this issue last
using
time.
the wrong client.
Yes, it needs to use the SDK, the web SDK, instead of the Node SDK, which is what it's doing.
Okay.
But that was good. That's interesting for me to see that environment variable didn't really refresh until we refreshed the entire page. So I guess it reloads this virtual environment by doing that.
It's good to know. Does it say anything on the design tab yet?
Yeah, we can take a look at that. Select an element on the preview to make changes. This element can't be edited. Okay, well, let's see what can be edited. This is a lot funnier than I was expecting it to be in V0. I just had, like, I don't remember exactly, but I feel like I had this pristine experience with V0 the first time. I think it was the first time we saw something work really, really well. And, once you go back, you never have the same experience.
Yeah, I wanted that same kind of feel. Okay. It's a placeholder. It's not the actual text.
Oh.
Pong.
Oh. Okay, well, that's a problem. Let's fix that.
It might be full.
Yeah, probably.
Like, nobody's using the game yet, unless someone in the audience already found the link.
It's not published. It's still kind of in this working directory.
That's true. That's true. Get it?
Okay, so what are we at? We're at 26 minutes in. I'm glad we skipped our pleasantries today.
Yeah.
I guess we could do the pleasantries now since we're waiting for this to work. How's the weather?
It's hot. It got a lot better yesterday. It was a little bit cloudy, so I wasn't burning at soccer practice. So that's good.
That's good. That's very good. Not burning in the desert in September.
Yeah.
That is nice.
Right now it's when the temperature starts to lower a little bit. The mornings are very nice.
Okay, stop with the pleasantries. It's time to go.
Okay.
Okay, same issue.
You can open the console somewhere.
Let's see.
Where was it? Oh, the little one that's red. The little one that.
Ah, I don't like this fly out. Okay, so it has that. This is all the logging though. Like, maybe there was something earlier. Oh, there we go.
Game not found. Well, yeah, you're creating a new one.
Oh, look, you can see the root cause now. The debug logs show that they're all returning error. I don't know why it's using Memento for that. That is strange to me. I guess I would put it.
I guess it's creating the cache, maybe?
Yeah. I mean, I would do that too. That makes sense.
We could look at the code, but who does that?
Who looks at code anymore? Oh man, okay. I don't need it to create a cache. Okay. Let me look at my account here. Let's use the game cache. Don't create. I don't need to. Okay, it's still doing stuff. Don't create a new cache. Use the cache with name game. It already exists.
Yeah, I guess that's good context.
Yeah.
You can stop the current. Yeah. I mean, it's lasting surprisingly long, right? Because previously it was kind of, you got throttled, right? The first time we used it. Looking at what you get for free right now from Vercel, it's $5.
For what? What are you talking about? What?
We get $5 of Vercel for free, of E0 for free.
Oh, okay.
The usage.
Okay.
So we'll see how far that gets it.
Yep. I think what we need to do, I'm trying to decide if we're 30 minutes into the project. Do we cut over now, or do we try to get this working?
I mean, it's rendering part of it, so we can run it locally in Kiro and have it fix stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what model V0 uses for this. Do you have any idea?
Click the little feature or that prompt tools. Yeah. Okay, no, I thought it would. Yeah, I have no idea which one it's using.
Pong game. Come on, I said don't do that. That's funny, it's researching the documentation that I wrote for Memento.
Okay, it says it fixed it, but it's
not going to work with this. I don't have one called Pong game. I mean, I can make one.
Or just change it here.
Just
change it here.
It didn't let me.
Oh, I guess because it's mid. It's a read-only editor. Fun. Okay. You want to port it over?
Yeah.
I mean, we got the UI elements, and it's a flashy arcade. What all the fancy words that it used to describe what it created.
Yeah, like spectacular. I don't even remember particles. I got excited about the particle animations.
I can't remember who posted. Maybe I've mentioned it before, but it's funny. Someone's saying like, "Yeah, I had an agent modularize the whole repository and have them all independently deployable, etc., etc., etc. It all looks great. It doesn't work, but it did all that."
Okay.
No.
I'm gonna stop it. We're abandoning ship. How do I? How do we get to
export?
It was here. Restore V0.
Back to.
Let me hit refresh. There we go. Try turning it off. Ah!
No.
Oh my gosh.
Download
okay.
zip.
Download zip. Okay. So let me switch screens. Let me bring us up. How do you feel like that went?
Not very well. It's that we always seem to have issue with kind of front end to front end communications.
Yeah. Yes.
It seems to struggle. It uses the wrong SDK. The last time it prompted us directly in the chat to enter the key. This time it didn't. I thought it was a lot nicer how it did it before, and we only had to change one line of code. Right? We went through a few fixed issue with V0. This time it felt like it got in a loop, and
yeah.
So, oh no. There we go.
There we go. Let me resize a little bit. We'll get our screen going. Oh no. All right, we're gonna go, I guess, wide screen here.
There we go.
Good.
Well, it looks good.
Okay. Okay, so I brought everything in, and we need to build a spec. So, I just built a Pong game in V0. Now I'm bringing it to you to fix. You think flattery will help?
Maybe, yeah.
It's not working all the way, but I know you can do it.
And I wonder if this falls more in the Vive request rather than spec.
It should. We're not doing anything spec driven yet. Running or using those spec requests where really we just want to hit that task button.
Yeah.
They hit run task. Everything else, building the tasks, building the steering documents, all that, the product definition, that was all Vibe.
Yeah,
Vibe stuff.
Yeah, so we'll see because we're on the spec side, right? Selected. So I guess it's doing all the analysis to see what it's going to generate as a spec.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where it starts.
Yeah.
Okay, so what were some of the tasks that we said we wanted to... I guess we wait. We wait because I want to see what it's going to do. Okay, it wants... I know for a fact this doesn't work, but we'll see what it does. It didn't run npm install. There we go. That's an important one. Installing the dependencies, classic gotcha with developers, isn't it?
Yeah. On any language.
Yes. Okay.
Quite a bit of dependency right there.
So it seems like right now it's trying to triage what's going on.
Yeah.
And honestly, I wasn't ready for that, but I prompted it. I gave it a pretty vague prompt. I really wanted to create the product definition and the steering docs at the beginning because this is a brand new folder. All I did was unzip that file and move it into this folder I already had on my machine called Pong.
Yep. Okay.
Okay, so now it's going to try to run that. I've never seen it actually do anything successfully with this command.
I've had it several times actually pop in like a embedded browser and actually looked at the screen. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not doing anything. So I'm just
Open.
that.
You open the app. No, just did you already cancel?
Yeah.
Because you can open the app and it'll show the logs for Kiro to read.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to see what it has identified as our issues.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do early predictions. We have 24 minutes left. Are we gonna get to production on this one?
Maybe working. I don't know about production.
I think that's best case scenario is if we can get it working.
Critically
Gosh.
Okay, from
As a player, I want the game to load without crashing. It's a good one. As a player, I want to successfully create and join game rooms so I can play with others. As a player, I want real-time synchronization to work properly. Yep. As a player, I want the game physics and controls to work correctly. As a player, I want proper error handling and feedback. Yeah, I mean, it's all for what we've given it as a description. That makes sense. We can also say I want to move the backend out of Next API routes and into AWS using API Gateway and Lambda.
Okay. An AWS migration. JS, API routes, serverless architecture so the game can perform. I want the game to
Edge cases. Yep. Okay.
I think it just added that, yeah.
And so for anybody that's watching us that didn't catch our last stream, this is Kiro, what we're working in. This is AWS's agentic IDE. And its kind of claim to fame compared to Cursor or Windsurf or anything else that you might have already used is that it really focuses and prioritizes on spec-driven development. And what does that mean? Well, it's exactly what we're doing right now. So we are defining up front before we write any code what we want the business outcomes to be. That's that requirements.md file we were just looking at. So it has all these user stories that kind of sum up what the requirements are. And then we move on to the design phase. And this is where it starts to get a little bit more technical, where it's giving us the architecture that it thinks we need. So front end in React, and then API gateway, then Lambda functions, and then Momento cache. I want to use Momento topics instead of an AWS WebSocket implementation.
Yep. Create room.
So it'll change that. So we're kind of at that first tier of technical design in this design doc. And so what this will do is it will cover not only the architecture, but it also covers like what are the front end components that are needed to do this? What are the API routes that it's going to be creating? Oftentimes, yep, it has this data model down here as well. So it's defining what all the entities look like. So this is what you'd see, a team lead generating before you start a project. Like I'd expect to see this in like the project design docs. Andres, when you and I work together, we would do stuff like this in like the epics in Jira, kind of that higher order collection of tickets.
Yeah. Yep.
And then it also has, testing strategy, integration tests, load testing, and then it's going to offer. This is a new one for me because I haven't done a migration in Kiro yet.
It gives you the phases.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. All of this looked right. I was actually reading this as we were going through, and we're running out of time, so I'm just going to have to. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Geeter.
So now that we say that design looks good, it's going to go over and do the individual tasks. And if anybody's familiar with the Jira ecosystem, what we just did here was more or less define the epic, which is the collection of Jira tickets. And then what it's going to do when it's creating this tasks.md is really it's creating the individual Jira tickets. Like this is what I would assign when I was a manager. Go ahead.
No, it's all based on the requirements, right? So each task will tell you this fulfills these requirements and has there it goes. It's writing that, but it's what is it doing? What are the validations that should be in place? And there's the requirements below that it satisfies. So it's first going to fix the front end issues, improve, enhance use game events hook for better connection management. What did it use? Do you know?
I don't know. It didn't specify, so I wanted to make sure we were specific.
Okay. Yeah,
that's what I'm prepared to do.
And we jumped right into specs, right? But these are things you would have defined in your steering docs, right? Is for infrastructure as code, use blah. For runtime, for Lambda, use this version or this language. And that's where you would spawn a pet.
Yeah, don't mind me. I'm not listening, but I am definitely going to spawn a pet. What's back there?
So yeah, that's what you would have on your steering documents, kind of your baseline stuff that you want included on everything. You got a little chicken?
Yeah, I love that it defaults to a chicken. I probably did that.
Ooh, Dino. Come on, man.
I'm waiting. It's still working. I just seeing what's there. VS Code Pets, if anyone's wondering what that is, it's an extension inside of Visual Studio Code.
You've had that one for a while.
I have. I learned about this one when I was doing a live stream with Erin McHale Staples. She was showing us Launch Darkly stuff.
Yeah.
And I stopped her midstream. I was like, hey, why do you have cats in the bottom of VS Code and how? And we just had like a 5-minute aside on the VS Code Pets extension. I surprised Kiro seems to be slow today. Everything seems to be slow, and I feel like maybe I'm just being impatient because we're under the gun with this.
Yeah.
So let's talk about trade-offs between what we just came from and where we are now. So we're obviously putting, let me see if I can hide that. Okay. We're obviously putting a lot of upfront effort here in Kiro versus my, we're just going to go. Versus my one shot. That was literally, it was a one shot prompt to go and build that Pong game.
Okay, so start the first one while we talk.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yep. Start task.
So trade-offs here, right? And it's what we've seen. The one shot, you're sacrificing either quality or the results are less maintainable for you and your team. But it's faster, right? And it's always speed versus what. So that's what I think we get out of V0 is, I mean, the UI was slightly rendering, right? It was just, hey, any of the actions or any of those things were not working when it's actually trying to communicate with an integration that it didn't do right. In this case, more structure. You can specify your quality gates, your code formatting, all that stuff up front, and it'll take it into consideration, which means less rework, but more time.
Yep.
It's just fats.
So one of the things that, getting to this point in time, I really wish that we had left V0 with some form of working state. It did render.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. It did render. Did it work? No. And I'm thinking now, it was still fast. It made decisions on its own, which I didn't like. But we knew we were coming here where we can really control the business requirements and fine tune this thing. And so I'm wondering if we definitely did this, but we shot ourselves in the foot by trying to give V0 implementation details. I said use Memento for interactive pieces, right? If we had left it alone, it would have used the next WebSocket, the integrated one there, and it just would have worked. And then we could have come here to our real implementation planner and started swapping things out, for our control, right? We want this specifically, or this component here, just for the long term. Like we can say, give me feature parity, but do it with the architecture that I want.
And I guess that makes sense, right? If you're working on the version 0, your prototype, your POC kind of situation, you should really not care too much about the implementation details, but more so it working, right? Even if it's just dumping game events in local storage and it just works for very punctual functionality, and then make it right once you're actually including it in your dev process. So I'm basically agreeing with you, which is not common.
This never happens.
Oh, because it's already running somewhere else.
Yeah, there we go. Try again.
One thing I like when
here.
I can't remember if it was usually when it tries to run a front end, it's not.
There we go. Okay.
The syst.
All right. Well, I mean, now it's gonna compile everything. At least we can do that.
Well, that's not nice.
So I'm gonna just go out there and make a bold claim when we still have 13 minutes left, and say we did not discover the absolute guaranteed best way to code. This is not it.
I really thought you and I were going to be the top 2 developers in the world after this.
Yeah, we were going to be like 1000x.
We might have fallen in the ranks with this. We might have fallen.
Yeah. I mean, good for us for trying, right? We had an idea and we tried, and we did not do well. We did not.
At all.
But at least we know we didn't do well. This is not the way to do it. I do like, let's, we can give ourselves a compliment sandwich, right? This obviously didn't work. Would I do this again? I don't know. I need the compliment bread on each side to figure out, would I do this again or not? Because right now we're just in the crap right now, and it's really having to backtrack. This is very much what I'm seeing here. This is very much like 2 developers going at it. This would be like if I asked you to go and build this thing, and then you said, here you go, now you can maintain it. And I go in there and I would be like, why did you do it this way? I'm gonna change everything now. I feel like that's what Kiro's doing with what V0 generated.
I said it fixed the critical issue, so
let's find out. npm run dev.
And this is like you saying, this is gonna work 100% guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then, oh no.
Okay.
Open the console because the errors. Right. Yeah, there you go. So we're still.
Well, we don't have a backend deployed. We said change it. Okay, so it's just giving us 500s. Failed to fetch rooms. Check the configuration. I definitely shot us in the foot, and I feel terrible that it, it was because it didn't know how to implement Memento. That's, it's just like, why did I do that?
We need the Memento MCP server with the docs.
Yeah, that's the truth. Okay, we're just gonna keep going for as long as we can.
Hold on.
Because at some point, this is gonna switch over and actually use, it's actually gonna use an AWS backend. And I do want to see this. I'm probably gonna run this on the side as I finish working for today, and try to get this working because I really want to see these animations. I want
to win at Pong.
Yeah. Yep. And so since we're not going to get to the point of adding new features, I just want to talk about the cool feature that I was going to implement if everything had worked on the happy path, if it was faster and if it worked, and basically the exact opposite of what happened. What I wanted to do was have lasers come out of the Pong paddles, but directly proportional to the amount of points your opponent has. So if it's 0-0, nobody can shoot lasers. If it's 1-0, the person that's losing can shoot one laser visible at a time. If it's 2-0, then they can shoot two lasers at a time, visible at a time, and so on and so forth. And have that be kind of the fun, sticky feature. And if you get hit by the laser, maybe you're stuck for 1 second, something like that. That was the feature I wanted to implement. I think that would be fun.
I think too. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe we'll make it, and then we'll play it in the Believe in Serverless Discord. I'll just post a link, and we'll all play.
Yeah, I like that. Do you want to look at where the error was thrown? Look at the Memento configuration. Maybe it's that situation where we just had to remove one line. You remember?
Yeah. So it's still trying to initialize caches. Let's take a look at games while that's running. App, API,
rooms there.
Rooms, route. This is a get. Okay, it's doing get active rooms from a different location. Let's see. Initialize and then get active rooms. So let's look at that. What does that do? So that's getting the cache client, and then it's still trying to create, it's still doing this, and this is not what we wanted. I will fix this.
Do it.
I like what David suggested in the comments for the laser feature. He said, let me bring it up. Yeah, hole in your paddle so it doesn't work. I think that's a wonderful idea. Instead of just being, I think that's what the behavior should be. Instead of making you sticky, it just shrinks the paddle right there. That's pretty cool.
I haven't seen the comment we got on Twitch. Should we respond?
No.
We have the chat, and now it shows in the on the stream itself.
Yep. So now we're at task 3. So the first, what did it think was critical? So fixing the front end and then improving the error handling and user feedback. Yeah, those are pretty important things. Now we get to the point where we're actually setting up the back end. Yeah, so it's going to be moving those API routes from Next over into AWS. And I'm curious to see what it's going to generate. We didn't tell it a language. We told it SAM. It's hopefully going to keep it.
It's TypeScript.
Yeah, I've never actually written Lambda functions in TypeScript.
Me neither. We should start.
Nah. No, I was at the Hero Summit last week and talking with Jeremy Daly about this specifically, and he says you don't need TypeScript which, depending on your audience, fighting words. But what he was saying is instead you can just use JavaScript with strong JS docs, because that'll give you, that'll give you IntelliSense. That'll give you exactly what you need. I don't know.
And I remember, if you remember, there was a short post by Yankui around. It's not the iceberg, but kind of the complexity levels or something. And if you're working a Lambda function, right, and they're single purpose, they're small, the complexity level within that individual Lambda function is small enough that you don't need to go through the complexity of all the types and all the management and creating npm pack. We went through that initially. Remember when we were evaluating TypeScript, just it's maintaining the models outside, right? So having that npm package updated, potentially breaking some stuff. And we saw someone that was completely pushing, I'm not going to name any names, that was let's use TypeScript. Then you would see that person's PRs and it will have any all over the place. It's like, well, that's beating the whole purpose.
Yeah, is that TypeScript? No, that's JavaScript with a build step. Yep. That's funny. Okay, so I'm gonna abandon this because we're at time. We're at time. The screen's gonna go wonky, I think. Yes. Still wonky. There we go. That's what we want. Okay, so just to recap, because I see our viewers are going up and down all the time. That didn't work. That didn't work at all. That was actually really bad, and probably one of the worst experiments from a success standpoint that we've ever done.
I think so. Let's not do that again.
No, part of it was self-inflicted. That was. I will take the blame on that. But I think overall, with how different it was, and even if it was working, let's take this scenario here, Andres. Even if it did work perfectly, and we said, you know what, we're gonna let V0 do its thing. We are going to then bring it over into Kiro and say, give me feature parity, but these are the paradigms that I want to run with. Go. You're still going to rewrite a lot of things. And at that point, once you get on the other side of that, did it save you time? Did it save you tokens? Or not tokens, requests?
Yeah.
No, not really. Unless you really want the generated code that you didn't get any steering decisions over, you're not going to get what you want if you start somewhere else.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking a little bit about, the trade-offs, right? So you're getting a visual representation, a workable representation of what you want quicker, but getting it to production will probably mean the same thing, right? And you're probably in your processes, you're still working with product and creating some sort of prototype to just understand what you need, right? So I still see that being a big step, but reusing that for your production level enterprise application, I don't see it yet. I don't see it there. Which,
agreed.
Props to the Kiro process and the spectrum of development. That's what you get out of that, right? But the combination is not. It's not the actual guaranteed best way to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get there. Thought we were. My final note that I'll have on this before we close is I've noticed myself being more and more on team Kiro for this, or at the very least team spec.
Yep.
I had an actual bad taste in my mouth when we were watching V0 work and it said, I'm not going to do what you asked. I'm replacing Memento with server send events. It didn't ask. It just said, this is the better way. And I didn't like that at all. Kiro won't do that because if you build your requirements correctly, if you actually review the design documents and the tasks, which is a big if, because not everybody does that, is pretty verbose. You should. You're not going to get that type of behavior.
Yeah, I agree. And making the decisions on what's best is not what's best for V0 might not be what's best for me and my project. So stop it, V0.
Not for long term. Not for long term. It absolutely has its use case for showing ideas, showing working software. It's faster than using Figma in a lot of situations. That's something like that, and it works. It's
saying wireframes and clickable prototypes. This takes it a bit further, right? And you can deploy it, give a URL to someone, and it's there. You don't have to grant like Figma permissions or what other one, Insignia. I don't know. There's many UI prototyping tools, but
So I guess my final conclusion: each tool has its strengths and weaknesses, but at the current moment, you can't really play the strengths together.
No, not yet.
No,
not yet.
Maybe someday. Okay. Well, everybody,
we can dream.
You. Yes, we can. Thank you for attending. After this, our next series is going to be enterprise grade agent design. So we're going to go over the core fundamental pillars, of which there's 6 or 7. I don't remember offhand, but we'll all remember when we're done with the series. And we're going to deep dive, to use an AWS phrase, into each one. What do they mean? What happens if you don't do them? And what happens subsequently when you do them? So we'll show the 2 stark comparisons and how that affects your final outcome. So that'll be next time, which maybe is in 2 weeks, probably. Definitely not next week. So we run on a 2-week cadence. So anyway, thank you, everybody. It was fun. Thanks for being here. We will see you guys next time.
See ya.